I lived in the what they call the Adams Point area, Grand Lake area. When I moved here from a little town called Chicago, and it was the only place I'd ever lived in the Bay Area for 22 years. And I had a wonderful landlord, in fact, in this 3-unit building. And the rent was nice, the community was nice, although in the latter years, rent started rising and people started leaving the block. But newer people came in, and you know, we always tried to have a block club, but it was always changing, you know. And it came to a point where I was one of the oldest tenants on the block, and they proceeded to give me hell. And they kept saying, "You have to go." And I said, "I have a lease, I don't have to go." Again, I'm going through my grieving, I'm going through my disability, which I'm not used to having problems, you know, physically with anything. And they send me a notice. Well, it was an eviction notice, right? It was in October, I believe, and it had an eviction of Christmas Day. So as I had been referred by now to the Eviction Defense Center, and an excellent group of attorneys. And I was never used to myself having to have any kind of representation, you know, because I was the one that always defended folks and organized folks to defend themselves, you know, every now and then with some legal help. But here was now where I actually needed it. They started turning off utilities, right? And this is in late January and February. They started actually turning off, so it would get cold in there. They locked me out. I went to my senior center for an hour and a half. I came back, the locks were changed. I had to call the police, who let me back in, let me climb through a window to get back in. And when I got in, I saw how much damage they had done. And my neighbor to the other side of me told me that she actually saw this person take a sledgehammer and start knocking out walls. It was really painful, our first day in court, and I'm represented ably by the Eviction Defense Center and Amaro, who's just a fabulous Oakland warrior, Golden State warrior, as y'all call them, and is one of them, as well as Causa Justa and all of our other groups, Central, Legal, La Raza, who also assisted me in this whole process. After not reaching a settlement in court, they gave me a 24-hour notice that said they were going to come in and make some repairs of what they had damaged. That's when they did the unthinkable. They said they were going to make repairs, and instead they started demolishing the place. They demolished it before my eyes. They couldn't buy me out, after they couldn't trick me out, after they couldn't force me out by turning off the utilities and doing all those other things. I was violated. We stayed in hotels for a while, and that just got too expensive. I was eating up retirement savings and, you know, these things, and I was on waiting list. And, you know, I had all these wonderful friends and colleagues that said, "Come live with me," right? "What are you doing? Come live with me. What are you doing? What are you guys doing at a hotel? Come live with me." And relatives, loved ones, everybody, you know, even my former wife, right? Come in. And I just couldn't do it because, you know, I don't do that. And so I was putting in even more applications for waiting list, you know, and actually got called. You know, they were, I think, out in Antioch and Pittsburgh, and I just couldn't do that. I'm Oakland. Oakland's like the south side of Chicago for me, and it felt comfortable, and so I've said, you know, I've got to stay here. But here we've got a little bit more coordination, and everybody's got a lane too, right? They like hand off, like they run a leg of the relay. So Causa Justa and the city's housing department handed me off and directed me to Central Legal, La Raza. And then Central The gal helped me write a letter to the attorney, right, to say, you know, we can see through this thing, this is phony, and we're not going. La Raza handed me off to Eviction Defense Center. And then Eviction Defense Center said, hey, we've done about what we can here. Let's go talk to the city attorney's office and the neighborhood law court. We think we got something. And so Barbara Parker and the neighborhood law court were just there for me. Because you can't fight these battles by yourself. That we have the power collectively. You know, the fist is stronger than a finger, a single finger, right? We've got support here. This is Oakland.
The Oakland City Attorney's Office is committed to enforcing the right of Oakland tenants to safe, healthy, and dignified housing. To report harassment to the City Attorney's Office, please contact the Neighborhood Law Corps. For a range of housing services and referrals, please call or visit the City of Oakland Housing Resource Center. And for legal advice or representation, please contact a local nonprofit organization or private attorney. Together, we can fight for housing justice in Oakland.